I don't care about them all I want is to be loved. Welcome back, Eurovision fam. This is the last stream of the national final selection season. So we have our national finals are over now. So all of the songs that were going to be selected in the pre-shows have been selected. We're just waiting on 3 more internal entries. How are you guys doing? Welcome back. It's good to have you back on the stream.
Are we just waiting on the caucuses?
We are just waiting
Yeah.
on the Caucasus. It's literally just those 3 little countries over there.
They're
Come
up to
on,
something.
guys.
They're up to something over there.
You have something, and they all have something like interesting. They all have like an interesting little ingredient to bring to the table, but they just haven't brought them to the table yet. We do have a date for one of those songs, though.
Yeah. Hello, Georgios Papadopoulos.
Hey,
Georgios.
Georgios.
Hello.
We just hopped on too. Good to see you.
Yeah, I just woke up. I'm sorry. I'm looking at who else is here. Larandi is here. Larindi is here.
Good to have you guys back. I hope you guys enjoyed the last national final selection day.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully, you are happy with the choices. I was low key expecting that WC. No, that's a Y. YCW.
You can't win, Charlie Brown.
We can't read letters. Will not be going to ESC, but to get opinions, to get options.
0 points.
0
Oh
points
yeah, they got
available.
0 in the televote.
I don't know how that.
What?
I was.
I mean, okay, so
that
FTC
you
was an
can't win,
excellent
Charlie
show,
Brown.
but
Oh
what?
my god, I'm like.
I thought they had like a lot of pull. I thought they had fans upon fans upon fans that were going to be voting for them. That really surprised me.
I think they were probably more popular like outside of Portugal, maybe because everyone on Twitter I saw was like in love with it. But I only follow like 2 Portuguese people. I'm only like mutuals with 2 Portuguese people, so I don't know what's happening in Portugal.
I mean, you guys are going to get our thoughts on FTC, like, because we got thoughts.
I have lots of thoughts about FTC.
I have lots of thoughts on FTC.
Oh man, it was such a good show. But before we get to FTC, we have to get through other stuff like the songs from Switzerland, Austria, Israel, the United Kingdom, and Greece were all released. Greece released their song this morning.
This morning, relative to our time.
I think it was this morning in their time. I don't know.
Was it? Oh,
I don't know. And then Azerbaijan, we finally know who's going to be representing them. Did we get the song? Of course not. And then we have the revamps from Ukraine and Albania. And then we're going to head on over to the national finals of Melody Festival and ending, and the ending of Festival da Canção. And yeah. So,
and this is just a reminder, you guys. Starting next stream, we're going to be doing an in-depth analysis on all of the songs. We're going to be allotting about 6 songs each to a pot to kind of just talk about separately. So if you like kind of independent analysis on just kind of all the aspects of all the songs, that's going to be the material of our next streams.
Yeah, that's going to basically take up the majority of the chunk of the streams for like the next until Eurovision, basically. Just so that way we can talk about everybody and yeah. And we're doing it a little different this year. I have gotten the pots halfway drawn up, so we'll see. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk about the Swiss song.
Water Gun.
We're using the French, or we're using the Italian pronunciation of Remo's name. Can he tell us his name pronunciation?
Yeah.
So Remo Ferrer?
I'm working with the Italian pronunciation because Remo is like such an Italian like setup of syllables that it's just I can't help but say it with the Italian inflection. But Remo Ferrer, Water Gun. Thoughts? Prayers?
Thoughts? Did you say prayers? Honestly, I like his voice. You can tell he went through a talent show because he has an excellent voice. Like it's just got this warm, deep richness to it. And that's kind of where my praises kind of stop at, to be honest. It's like I really enjoy his voice, but like the song just personally does nothing for me. And I can listen to it multiple times in a row, and I'm just kind of like, okay, that happened.
Yeah. So you wouldn't really say that there's anything really ultimate in the production or just kind of the overall delivery from the music video that has standout qualities. Is that kind of what you're alluding to?
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry, like I can't take a song called Water Gun seriously.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw that title and I was like, is this going to be silly? Is this going to be silly? And it was very decidedly not.
yeah.
Actually, this is an attempt at trying to be very serious. So that's pretty interesting. Um I
I
like,
mean,
yeah, I don't think I have that strong of like a set of opinions on this song other than the fact that it's strange because I don't know, Switzerland's a neutral country and
thank you. I had the same
this is
thought.
and
I
I
had
mean,
the same thought.
okay, so if Remo is a Swiss citizen, then he was most definitely probably already conscripted. But I looked up the firearms that they use in the Swiss army. It's typically just a rifle. So like I really wonder how that like how far that limit is tested in terms of like I don't want to like play with like real blood, real guns and stuff. It's like, okay, out of Europeans, you probably have held a real gun, but
Mhm.
how far does that
No,
actually go?
well, let me tell you, this is something I know from apparent. I don't know if this is true or not. This is what I've heard from American gun nuts. Because whenever you say, "Hey, maybe we should limit access of firearms," the United States go, "Well, Switzerland has more gun ownership than America per capita," which is true. They have a higher rate of gun ownership than we do. But like, you also bullets are way more expensive over there, and you
Hmm.
only really get bullets if you got a use for them that is like legitimate. It's a whole side thing. Welcome to the United States, where you get screamed at and told gun stats about other countries when you say, "Hey, can we do something that stop people from getting shot because it only seems to happen here?"
Yeah, I really wish we could exercise that frustration and grief with you guys like adequately, but all we have really to work with right now is just Remo's song, and it is very odd
It
because
doesn't like.
Switzerland is a neutral country,
I'm like,
and
you're.
I don't assume he's going to be actively in the conflict zone on the front line with really any conflict. So my question is, what was the goal with this song? What is the ultimate takeaway from this? Because like a love peace song, I feel like we've kind of outgrown that, especially if it's coming from a country that has nothing to do with an active conflict going on.
I think I wrote down the last time Switzerland went to was it an active war, actually, because I was curious about this. I know during World War II they just shot everybody else down, anyone who came into their airspace.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I don't know how to phrase this. I don't want to go off on that tangent because it just seems kind of
I mean, like,
it's a peace song for a country that's famously neutral.
yeah, for famously neutral. But the other thing too is like
I mean, you
I
can't get
do
up there and
get
say,
it. Like water gun, okay,
yeah,
toy, and then a real gun, not a toy. But why?
I know. I get
But
the
why?
metaphor just for me. I get hung up on the metaphor, and it
Mhm.
just makes me like
I mean, it
distracted
might
from what
just
else
be
is
because
happening.
we're American and so we do have like kind of specific national trauma related to guns, but it does strike a very weird note with me, this song. The approach to
Yeah.
it, the delivery of it, it makes me ignore the actual qualities within the song that we usually analyze. I
Mhm.
don't really look at that right now because of just the
Yeah.
subject matter of the song.
And the fact that that's the main hook of the
Yeah, it
song
is the
too.
main
It
hook.
just you hear it
I
repeatedly
struggle
and
with it.
it's distracting.
Mhm.
But his voice is good.
Excellent
And
voice, yeah.
honestly, I think with the right staging, this could do something decent. Just solely because like
Uh-huh.
that staging they had last year, I think this is a stronger song than Boys Do Cry. And the
Oh,
staging they
yes,
had for Boys Do
definitely.
Cry was excellent. So this could do something decent, you know what I mean?
Mhm. I trust the Swiss delegation to bring us, like, very good staging. I mean, they're not trying to stage Apollo again, so
Yeah. I'm just so happy like that didn't qualify because I was like, that's not qualifying.
that was
The
my
first time I
winner.
heard it,
It was my
I was like,
winner.
it's not gonna
I thought
qualify.
it was going to win. I thought it was gonna be
I'm
fair
usually
and
good if I get a
clean.
gut feeling of this is awful the first time I hear a full song, I'm usually right.
That must be
Um,
nice. Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
you know what though? That Saul Brown does make a good point. Hearing the "I don't want to be a soldier" during Ukraine's contest just feels off.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
It does feel very off.
it just you know,
Yeah,
yeah. Netherlands is going to eat up all the points from Battle Lovers in the first semifinal and
Hmm.
leave Switzerland with crumbs. Maybe.
I feel like I need more from the Netherlands right than what it's currently at right now, though. I feel like just the studio cut, it's sitting a little stagnant for me, but I feel like the contrast as you're describing in the first semifinal could help them out a lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it could.
So we'll keep an eye out for that.
Okay, and then what else do we have here?
Autriche.
Rondi, Switzerland tear it apart fandom in terms of qualification.
I see a path for it to qualify. I also very much don't. Like, I'm also not paying a ton of mind up to the slot that they are potentially taking because I'm paying attention to basically my favorite songs at this point.
Yeah, I have to go through once we have every single song. I'll go through and make 2 separate playlists, like one for the semi, and then once we get the running order, I'll put them in the running order, and then I just focus on that. Like at this point,
That'll be good.
Deep dive Eurovision songs.
I actually should probably do that too.
But from Austria, we're gonna I'm sorry, from Switzerland, we're gonna head over to their neighbor Austria. And we got Who the Hell is Edgar by Taya and Selena.
Yes, we did.
Same the day after, Wednesday. So, thoughts?
I thought I would hate this, you guys. We at the site, we try to just avoid speculation, but this had like material surrounding it for a very long time. And I did hear the hook like a really long time ago, and I was like, this is going to be absolute trash. I'm going to hate this. This better not be real. And then I heard it. I watched that music video for the first time, and I was living. Are you kidding me? Like, that is so much fun. Yeah, it's big cheesy, but you know what? We need cheesy done well at Eurovision, and this nails that. It's a fun electronic pop song. It has a good amount of hooks. The vocalists seem very competent and talented and charismatic. It's really as much as you could possibly want for a well-performing Eurovision entry. I see it landing top 10.
Honestly, like, I'm gonna say this. It's like I didn't listen to that snippet. I don't do like snippet, whatever they called, what leak stuff.
Leaks.
I don't do that. It just seems disrespectful. So I didn't hear it at all. I was like, okay, that has to be a joke. There's no way in hell that's actually happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's because the song's coming out on International Women's Day, and it's named after a historical figure. So I was like, oh, no way are they going to release a song, like make a big deal of, it's coming on International Women's Day in the press, and then have it be about Edgar Allan Poe of all people. You know?
But it worked.
But it worked, and then we get the song, and it's lyrically, it's kind of it's a Alicia Michelle calls them party songs, where it's kind of like jokey and stuff like that. And I see the jokiness of the lyrical content, but it's done in a way that's kind of clever. And it kind of makes me think of like early Gaga. Like
in what sense?
Okay, so like specifically, like kind of pop culture references, critique of the music industry, but presented in an electronic, dancey, upbeat package.
Oh yeah, huh?
It's very Gaga, but like Gaga from like the first couple of albums, like The Fame and The Fame Monster when it was re-released. Yeah. I would put it kind of like in that era of Gaga. And it really works for me.
Like usually commentary songs can be very challenging to like make accessible because like, I mean, from a music standpoint, it just doesn't connect the audience, but like this, it connected with me the second I pressed play that first time. It's also just a really, really good song acoustically too. Yeah. Like you can't help but just like enjoy it and dance along to it. This I feel like is going to have the same kind of initial sway as Halo from last year, but do way better. Like it's going to do what Halo was intending to do.
I think it's also less vocally challenging as well.
Oh yeah,
than Halo was. So Jeff Rowe says Austria is either demolishing the televote or flop, depending on the live performances. They can sing live. I've heard them both live. My main concern is the staging, because if that staging is anything but perfect, it's gonna flop. That's my worry.
The staging has to be camp. It has to be cheese. You need props. You need a lot of camera work. I don't want like a what's the term for like just a ballad where the singer is just like kind of singing and like everything else is happening around them, but nothing really is happening.
I don't know the official term, but I call those planters.
Planters. That makes a lot of sense.
Where you just plant the musician in one spot and everything goes on around them.
Yeah, it better not be a planter. That is my kind of philosophy with this song. It needs big stage elements.
Mm-hmm. So Carmen says, "Hello, I like Austria. It's huge potential live performance, but I'm not adding it to my playlist." Okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is a very it's not the kind of song that you would listen to outside of the Eurovision season with regularity. You
Mm-hmm.
know, maybe if it came up on like the radio or something, then that's different. But actually seeking it out, yeah, a very different relationship, and I understand that.
Georgios Papadopoulos says, "I like Austria. Expect it to do well." Okay.
I feel like it's gonna do well. I
And
feel like
then
it's going
just
to.
Lorendi says, "I'm not getting hyped by this. I am curious though about how far this can go." Okay.
I could see how it's divisive. I could very
Yeah.
much see that.
And that's a good thing. You'd rather have it invoke some kind of emotion than no emotion at all, even if
Yeah.
it's a negative emotion.
Mm-hmm. It's
All right.
inciting emotion because there are a lot of songs, or like not a lot of songs, but there are a good handful of songs this year that I feel like incite no emotion out of me.
Yeah. It's like a lot of songs that made me go, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the same day, we'll go on from Austria to the same day. Israel
Mm-hmm.
released their song. It's Noah Carell with Unicorn. Any thoughts about Unicorn?
Yeah. So Unicorn, the album was pretty. It's. I love the fact that we didn't turn down a single demo. We said yes, this demo works, that demo works, that demo works too. You know what? We're all a big happy Kelmendi family. Let's just put it all together. It doesn't really matter like how everything fits together. We're together, all fitting within one frame. Smile, everyone. It's literally like 7 songs in one. I have a lot of trouble with this. I have a lot of trouble with the Israeli entry, and it has to do a lot with just kind of the organization of it.
Yeah.
I was with Alicia in one of the Twitter spaces where she was talking with other Eurofans, and someone else in the States described this song as very kitchen sink. I cannot help but agree with that, and that is just not for me, for just the studio cut, I'm not per se entertained. What do you think?
It's very K-pop. Because K-pop does that too. Like the reason why K-pop is so successful is because it's literally, let's take everything and put it into one song. So you're gonna find at least 20 seconds you like, right? That's what this feels like to me. It feels like we're trying to get that same kind of vibe going, and then you get a dance break, and it's like, I know why the dance break's there, because like Chanel's dance break, and we had a lot of dance breaks this year. We had a lot of dance breaks this year, national finals and stuff. But like, you know, national finals kind of killed the dance break. Israel didn't go through a national final; they had an internal. Yeah, it just feels like a lot happening, and not in a cohesive way. Because I can handle songs where there's a switch up partway through.
Yeah.
Icebreaker, I love Icebreaker.
You can have one or two switch ups. One or two.
And I don't mind if you have more switch ups than that. But my issue is it's a 3-minute long song. It's not like it's a long disco track where you can have multiple switch ups happen. And it works because it's so long, because you don't really get to enjoy each change. It's just happening so quickly.
It's literally like you're being rushed through all of these sections, and you can't even like enjoy or adequately process how a lot of these sections are going, just because like the pace, it's only 3 minutes. You have to move through these sections so fast, and you're right, it just doesn't feel cohesive at all.
Yeah, and then Lorendi says, Unicorn 6-song mashup with excellent dance break, but socially, I am turned off because of the unicorn word, like same as water guns. Okay, like it's that yeah, it feels
it's the
weird.
metaphor word. It's that one word that's trying to like be the shining star of the entire song.
Yeah. We have Jeffro saying Israel's literally a Blackpink song at the end with aespa's brand of putting 5 songs in one song. Yep, and Blackpink is J-pop.
I do see more cohesion with K-pop though, at least, because I mean you can at least expect that, and it feels like it just fits more. I mean, I'm not a big K-pop listener as of the year 2023, but from what I have heard and those switch ups, they at least sound like they fit together. This song, I don't really think I get that same vibe at all.
And also with K-pop, you have massive groups of people doing it. So it kind of makes sense. Like, I'm thinking, like, you know what I mean? Like, where you can stop what you're doing and have a dance break because you've got like the dancer in the group.
The
That's
dancer,
her point.
or like the rapper,
The shine, and they have the little bit of the rap bits, so the rapper
Yeah.
can have a moment. It kind of makes more sense when it's multiple people to have so many different bits and bobs making up the song.
But
It's
when it's
just
just
like,
one
you know what I
Israeli
mean?
girl, when it's just
Yeah.
one Israeli girl,
It
it doesn't
makes it
translate a
harder.
ton well. Yeah, it makes it harder.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like it seems like it's a lot happening.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and highlight Georgios Papadopoulos real quick. So I like
Mhm.
Israel. I have it in my top 10, but it seems kind of try hard.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does seem kind of try hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it could turn out to be very great, is the thing, but if they're going to be keeping all of these really weird sections that don't go together, then they really have to lean into it. Like change the staging lighting, change the dancing choreography, like make it euro neuro, as far as I
Oh
know.
my gosh. Okay, Jeffro, I wonder if the K-pop stands will get behind this song. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
Because like what did the K-pop stands
Israel is
like?
really the only like Asian country in this contest. So
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what well not even that. Just thinking like if I've known like other songs we've had that are kind of K-poppy. I think Havane, Slovenia Havane a couple of years
oh
ago.
yeah,
That
yeah,
was kind of
I could definitely see that.
K-poppy,
Hmm.
but
I
it didn't
agree.
have as many switch ups. And I remember someone who likes K-pop a lot. That was his favorite song out of people I knew.
Mm.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Mm.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go from Israel to the UK. We've got the British
Yes.
singer and song released.
Hmm.
It is Mae Muller, and she is singing I Wrote a Song.
Hmm.
Did a little back catalog diving into her. Um, and I'm sorry, yeah, I did a little back diving catalog. She has, quite a few singles out. Like she's done 18 singles, one album, 3 EPs. She's charted in Australia, Ireland, Norway, New Zealand, Sweden, and the United States as well. Like she's done decently on Billboard. And yeah, so what do you think about the song and her and everything?
So, I think she's great. I thought the music video had so much personality. I think this is a very healthy, good angle for the United Kingdom. And also,
Hmm.
like, I love how the song is just good Britpop, you know?
Yeah,
It's just good Britpop. And we don't see that from the UK because they aren't that confident about it, but it's
yeah,
really good. And it's back in fashion. That's the thing. We kind of have that like back and forth percussion that we see in Dua Lipa's music reflected in this song, but it doesn't feel overwhelmingly like a Dua Lipa
hmm
track. It
yes,
it's just very polished. It's very polished. It feels very English, and I feel like the UK should be very proud because I do see them potentially landing at least kind of like in the top 12.
yeah. No, I do too. I think this is going to get the UK respectable thing. Like the
Hmm.
song, when I first thought when I heard it was also Dua Lipa. So like that's why I
Hmm.
highlighted Jeffrey's comment with the UK serving tropical house, Dua Lipa, and I'm here for it. Honestly, yeah, like I see that. Like, I wanted the UK to do something like this for a while.
Hmm.
Send a pop girl, like, because the UK makes great pop music, and here we are getting a solid pop number that's upbeat, well sung. It has lyrics that are kind of playful and unexpected because it's a breakup song. And
Hmm.
hey, instead of doing all this other stuff I could have done to you, I just wrote a song. And
I'm
like,
so
I
glad they
like
didn't
that.
go with like a peace entry. Like that would have been just no. I'm happy it's a girl singing about a breakup. I'm happy
Mhm.
that's the host entry.
Yeah, no, I think that this is gonna be good. Like this comment from Lindy says, the UK respectful representation this year.
I
Yes.
agree.
I love the UK song, but it's very similar to Mabel. Maybe my favorite British artist in a good way. I do like
That's
Mabel too.
good.
Mabel was
That's
the
a
one of
great
those I'm like,
sign.
I would love to see Mabel do it.
Hmm.
Um, I know a lot of people are kind of disappointed because they didn't get who they wanted to get with the hinting and things. But guys, Mika hinted. Mika REI choosing Mika last year as a presenter was our hint as to who would be representing the UK this year.
We were supposed to know that.
No, I just made that up. Like I had to come up with with something, and that's the best joke I could come up with. Yeah, no,
Mika.
I think this is a good entry for the UK. I hope it comes like I don't know if it's gonna break the top 10 necessarily, but I can see it being a respectable host entry.
Very respectable. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
It's
they're
just so
still trying.
polished, and there's so much personality with it. Like
Mhm.
you could tell the entire time that this is just confidence, pure confidence in the song, and we need more music like that in Eurovision this year. Tend to think this will be successful because it's serving the expectancy we have with the UK. And you know what? They actually met that expectation. So
Yeah.
good for them. They can literally just chill now until the contest. They don't have to worry about much. Well, I mean, they're hosting.
Yeah. Gotta make sure everything's hosted together. And just real quick, thank you so much, Elise Stu. Elise Stu says, off topic, I just wanted to say I love listening to what you guys have to say. You have interesting points and also beautiful voices.
Oh my
Thank you
gosh,
so
thank
much.
you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Elise Stu. All right. So we had a poll this week. And well, we had multiple polls this week.
Our polls, you guys.
The first poll we had was for these 4 songs that were released. So which of the songs released this week was your personal favorite? And it was Switzerland, Israel, United Kingdom, and Austria were the songs that came out. And in order, kind of spoiled it. Switzerland had 7% of the vote. Not the favorite. Israel and the United Kingdom were tied for 16% of the vote.
Wow, really?
But an absolute runaway, Austria with 61% of the vote. So that's kind of how our people on our community page voted. So go ahead, check it out. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. It's fun. You come here, we do videos, and we talk about the polls.
Yeah, and vote in the polls because you do have an influence.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the Greek song next that was released. That came out this morning. So that's
we literally just listened to it before the stream, you guys.
Exactly. I was like, oh, Greece released their song. Let me text Jordan real quick. Hey, Jordan.
I was literally getting set up and I was like, oh, okay, I have to jump in. Okay, so the Greek song, we don't really know if any of you have listened to it yet, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, so we have Victor Rikanos with What They Say.
Yes.
How do I phrase this? I think this is what I expected. Like when I looked up
Describe
the kind of music this guy makes when he was announced as a singer, this is kind of what I was expecting. I mean, it's less acoustic than I was expecting. It's not acoustic at all, but it doesn't have the acoustic guitar I was expecting to hear, but it's still, it's like a guitar-driven ballad. It's what he does. So I wasn't like shocked when I heard. I was like, okay, yeah, that's expected. To be honest, this is not my genre of music. Like this is the kind of my least favorite genre of music, if that makes sense.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I mean, it does make sense. This is I could understand how this is pretty niche, but it could translate well, just kind of depending on the crowd that's receiving it. I don't even know what semifinal Greece is in, but
they're in the same one as Cyprus. The second one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they're both bringing man ballads.
I don't mind this song. I think I definitely do prefer it to Cyprus. I prefer it. I prefer it to Cyprus, but I don't know. I think it's just not quite. Oh, Jeff, you have this in your top 5. Dang. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
show
it
support.
kind of is in the same. It kind of is in the same space as oh my gosh, Switzerland is for me.
Okay.
But it doesn't have the lyrical drawback of Water Gun to make me go, are we really doing this?
Yeah. What they say is definitely more kind of just like a longing, breakup-y kind of essence song, which I'm not asking for a war perspective. He's 16. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness. He's 16 years old and he has a deeper voice than I will ever have in my life.
I mean, at this point, I have a sister who's much younger than me, and she's had a deeper voice since she was born. So like I gave up on that.
My younger brother's voice is literally down here. So yeah.
I have to record my brother talking for you because it's hilarious. I don't know, like side tangent. It sounds like he's making his voice deeper to sound manlier, but also he has like a weird accent. Like, no, we cannot figure out where he got this accent from because he lives in the Midwest and like the Midwest has a distinct accent.
Yeah.
but it's not like any other Midwestern accent I've ever heard. It's kind of Canadian-y too. It's the weirdest accent. Like, I don't know.
Might be a small like cultural enclave or something where
I
the
thought he
accent's
was
isolated.
joking. I thought he just makes
Oh,
fun of, like, he was just joking. But no,
wow.
that's really how he talks. And it's so interesting.
Record it to me. No, yeah, record it and then send it over to me because I'm curious.
Sorry, went off on tangent there. Okay, so Jeffro has another comment they said, which is, it's giving Shawn Mendes, and I love Shawn Mendes' music. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
like, I think that's where I'm kind of at, because I just, genuinely speaking, I'm not into this genre of, like, guy with a guitar music. I like guitars. I like guys. But, like, that guy with a guitar sound just does not appeal to me.
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't incite any emotion, really.
It incites an emotion of rage. But, like, I was trying to be positive. It's not my genre. So I'm a little lost there. But I think that Europe likes this, though. Yeah, Europe likes a guy with a guitar.
I mean, generally, you could see that doing pretty well.
Like Stefan, Victor Krona.
He qualified.
Don't get me started on that.
Both of those names have legitimately qualified.
Who else is there? You know what I mean?
No, yeah, no. Like, I know exactly what you mean. Europe is definitely probably going to eat this up. I have some issues with this song. I have some actually pretty glaring issues with this song. I think acoustically it's nice. Okay, so I'm not like you. I don't immediately just kind of like have an allergic reaction to this genre. I think it kind of is I almost want to say it has a San Remo-y flavor in terms of like guy with a guitar. It's at least San Remo-y version of guy with a guitar, which I can access and be a little bit more appreciative of, even though that's just my perspective. The thing is, though, I hate the fact that there's kind of like a gospel collapse at the end of it. It's like, no, this is not the kind of song where you stomp and clap and pray. This is not a gospel song. It's not a soul song. Don't bring that at the end of this. It just feels terrible. That's my opinion. Who knows? This might grow on me overall, but I just got like such a terrible reaction the first time I heard that, because I was like, the rest of the song is fine. I can listen to this song and actually enjoy it to a good degree. But like the last 30 seconds made me cringe so badly. I just couldn't get behind it.
I think it's just like Europeans don't understand what makes gospel music good.
But I mean,
they don't have the historical context and cultural context. For them, it's just a matter of an audio sound that they can apply. Like, it doesn't, it's like, think about it like I'm trying to think of something in the US. What's the sound that happens that Europeans make that we don't have in the US? Like white voice, for example. There's no cultural context for white voice in American music. So if you were to hear it gets used in American music, but it gets specifically used in soundtrack music. When you're making a sound, like, it's often like they'll use women's choirs to do Native American, something that sounds Native American to white people when they're like making movies. Like, for example, like Brother Bear, all the vocal harmonization in that came from Bulgarian women's choirs.
Oh, that is cool. Well, I mean, I love the Bulgarian women's choir, but I know, that's surprising to me. Yeah.
Also, like, I think they did the same thing. Like, there's certain movies will use it in soundtracking choices. I think Avatar, like the James Cameron Avatar with the blue people. Like, the soundtrack. Choral. Yeah, the soundtrack for that use the same kind of thing. Because to us, it just sounds foreign. And it doesn't have any kind of like cultural context to your average American.
Yeah.
Where
but I think that's just our compatriots mostly.
Yeah. And I think that's the same thing that like is with Europeans and gospel music. Kind of like they don't have a cultural context for it.
I mean, that doesn't always mean it's done terribly. I've seen it done very well. So
no, I'm not saying it's always done terribly, but like,
but yeah, the context is missing, and so we don't have that to support something like this in the song.
Yeah, like I think probably the song, Eurovision song I did it the most that I was into was Austria.
Nobody But You.
Oh God, I love that song. I'm sorry, like I was out here defending that song in the streets in the
I didn't
streets. I
see
was
the
like,
vision
no.
until he performed. As soon as he performed, I was like, yeah,
I was
this
saying
man's
this
gonna
is
do
gonna
well.
do so well. This is amazing. This is fantastic. And it came
Third
third.
place.
Like, I knew
Like
it.
that's
Like,
all you need to know.
I hate to say it. I knew it. Like, there's every year, every year I'll have a song like, this is gonna do better than people think it's gonna do, and I'm usually right. Like, I know with Friend of a Friend, people were like, no, this is not gonna I'm like, it's gonna come top 10. I was very close to being right about Friend of a Friend too. Yeah.
I think my basically biggest sentiment regarding the song is like, if you're gonna do gospel, go full gospel. Don't use it as an element at the very end to try to like get some claps, because it just doesn't translate over very well.
George's Papadopoulos says nobody but you deserve top 3. Exactly.
I had to be convinced, but I was.
Of the 3 songs that were top 3 that year, this is the one that would have aged the best if it won.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's the one that would have aged the best.
Both have a very like 2010s kind of essence about them. Nobody but
yeah, this is more of a timeless essence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm sorry, Jeffro.
Let me see.
Oh, okay. I remember defending Netherlands Grow 2020. It was such a stressful time for me. When you would have had to defend it for me, I would have been in agreement with you.
Unreasonable. Gosh, that song would have been the perfect host entry of the decade. The first
time I heard that song gave me goosebumps. Like, I have, like, there's the goosebump test is kind of like also how I judge if I think the song's gonna win or not. There have been 3 songs who've given me the goosebumps. The first 2 of them were 1944 and Amaz Pelas Deutsch. The first time I heard those 2 songs, I got goosebumps and I was like, winners. So yeah, no, like that's why I picked my personal winner. No song this year has given me goosebumps. BT Dubs, nothing yet.
Grow definitely did give me goosebumps.
Yeah,
and the other thing too is like, we don't get that anymore. We don't get any kind of soul anymore in Eurovision. I feel like we're moving away from that just generally, and it's becoming more so just an element that people inject into songs that already exist, not an art form in and of itself that on its own is very gorgeous, very pretty, kind of like what you see in Grow. Grow was tied for my first place, and you know why? It's because Jungkook as a writer is amazing. Like, I love his writing. So yep, it was tied for my winner.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm trying to think of how, because it's like kind of we're going off on a tangent here, but we're all bringing up songs that use these elements that Greece is using, but are using those elements more effectively than we're getting in this one.
More effectively, yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and go on from talking about Greece and all these different soul things to Azerbaijan. So we got the announcement of the artist. There's no backlog for me to go through. So it's like, oh, there's no like back catalog really that I can find. But we have Terrell and Tehran X, who are twins. Number one, I know for a fact, because their names are so similar, and I grew up in a family with twins, and I grew up with a sister who looked, people thought we were twins. Their parents were confusing them 24/7. Like, I promise you for a fact, like,
dang.
I'm in my 30s, and my mother still calls me every other one of my siblings' names before she gets to mine.
Wow.
Just a side note.
I mean, I grew up in a family with twins too, but they're fraternal. They're brother and sister. So
yeah, my brother still got it. My brother and sister are also twins, and they got called each other's names constantly. They sound the same too. It's weird. It took me forever to tell them apart on the phone.
It's really weird how twins can be like that.
Sorry. But yeah, like I wish I had more to go off of.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of details. We're just kind of waiting on it now.
They're street performers, so like they're kind of buskers. And you know what? I'm down with that. I'm gonna guess they're probably gonna bring something like acoustic guitar-y.
I mean, street performers can perform.
Yeah.
Like I just generally have that trust in them.
Yeah, I just wish like there was a back catalog for me to go through.
Yeah, because I saw them and it looks like they both held guitars in the promo shots, so that makes me very curious. Twins with guitars. When's the last
dual guitar could be fun,
right?
Like,
I mean, that's if they bring those guitars to Eurovision, because I like the idea of them playing guitars. That is something very different, like a duo with guitars. Okay, go off. That we haven't seen that yet in the contest. It could be great. And typically, I like Azeri entries just generally. So yeah, I'm very optimistic about their entry.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how we feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 revamps this week. Albania and Ukraine dropped their revamps.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just start with talking about Albania. How do we feel about that revamp?
Cinema. So that music video, I
Drama.
watched that music video and I was like, this is nothing but pure Balkan drama. I love it. I'm sorry. It is so cheesy. It is so full of like set and acting and cast, and there are just so many things. You feel like you're watching a soap opera, and I absolutely adore it. I think the song sounds more polished. I like the song more, which I mean, I didn't have an issue with it to begin with. I did like it to begin with, but now it sounds more professional and has a music video. I think it's probably my favorite music video of the year. It's up there. I would definitely nominate it. It's just so dramatic and so just extra perfect for me. It is my kind of entertainment.
Albania knows what drama is. They got that. Like Albania brings the drama so consistently. I'm like, yes. No, honestly, it's a lot like the live performance, but they got rid of the guitar.
Yeah.
Honestly, the guitar kind of sounded dated and dragged it back. But Thick loves an electric guitar solo, so got the guitar out of there, and it works for me. Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. It's really it changed things up a little bit. I still love the song. Yeah, like I don't really don't have anything to say other than they got rid of the guitar.
Oscars, just give them the Oscar, honestly, because I did not know that such a family could act like that. Good job, good job from the team who set that entire music video up.
I like the 2021 song from Albania too, but it was also dramatic.
Was
that Karma?
Drama. All drama, yeah.
Oh yeah, Karma was dramatic. Albania again knows the karma. Not karma. Albania knows the drama.
Yeah, and it's gonna cause them to do well, I feel like.
Albania this year is too cheesy for me.
I could definitely see that. It's a lot of cheese. It's a lot of cheese. You either like it or you don't. And I really enjoy it.
I got some. I feel like the mic just picked my sister up. No, I got some lactate, so I can handle the cheese.
Honestly, the amount of cheese, it's kind of like a cheese fountain. You have to be able to appreciate a cheese fountain.
Fondue.
Yeah. It's so much cheese, it's fondue.
Let's go ahead and go over to the Ukrainian revamp.
Yeah. This? I love it. Okay, so this is another case where I didn't dislike the song. In fact, I did like it when it won the national final. But this, I feel like it has matched its potential. This is what a revamp should be. Don't change the song to a point where it feels like a different song, but also polish and enhance all of the tiny elements to make it feel eventful and unique toward the very end.
Yeah.
Very, very well done. I especially adore the strings bit that we get at the last couple seconds. Totally up my alley. It shot up, I believe, 3 to 4 spaces in my ranking after the revamp. So good. I love it.
Here's my thing. It's been sitting at number 2 for me. It was my favorite song for a bit. Then Slovenia dropped. So Ukraine went down to my number 2, and it's been hanging out in the number 2 spot for a while now.
Yeah.
It's still in that number 2 spot for me, but it's kind of enhanced what was there. Like, it's the kind of revamp that I wish more countries did revamps like this, which is you already had a really good song to begin with, but you've given it a little more oomph to make it a little more competitive. And like the inserting the verse in Ukrainian was nice to get.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that was great. That was really good.
The build up on the end, we're ending with high impact, high drama. Love it. I think this is absolutely fantastic reworking. And Jeff Rowe says Ukraine is good with revamps. Again, I encourage, if you don't trust Ukrainians to do a revamp, go listen to TikTok, the original version, and then listen to that revamp.
Nothing can adequately prepare you for pre-TikTok. Like that song was a fever dream when it first got started.
Lorendi says, I still cannot agree with Ukraine being top 10, but this is real, and I mean real possibility. Okay, like you're saying, you personally don't see it top 10 yet, but you can say it's at least a possibility you can find the pathway for. Honestly, I love this.
I could see it landing top 10. I could also see it not landing top 10. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the kind of song where it's like the result is very clear in my mind. I need to hear it in the lineup of the other like final songs in order to deduce that properly.
Georges Papadopoulos says, I think Ukraine is underrated. I even prefer it to last year. Okay.
All right.
I think you're not alone in that. There are quite a few people I've known who like this better than last year's entry. Honestly, I'm going to say this real quick, which is I feel like at least since like I know like there's been a few years where I've really, really liked the host entries a lot. And then I'm like left like, why is the host entry so low? Like we all know, if you don't know this, my favorite song in 2018 was Aujourd'hui. Flopped.
R.I.P.
Somehow.
I
don't comprehend how that did not do better. I love it. And then like both of the entries by Jingu were absolute magic for me.
Yeah, definitely.
And like again, flopped. I'm like, what is up with people? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, like we're never able to like accurately predict, especially me.
No, nor am I. Like, if it comes to a host entry, I love most of these host entries. Like, but apparently Europe isn't into it. Jeffro says Ukraine won't be a victim of the host entry curse. That's for sure. I hope so.
I don't think they're gonna suffer that. I feel like TVORCHII, they're very, very competent, very good.
And here's the thing: they're a known entity. Like they've gone to Poland and done work in Poland. Like they've gone to like music festivals in Eastern Europe. So
yeah, they're already big. Sure. They're known.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see here. We had another poll. And that poll was basically between Albania and Ukraine. Which one is your personal favorite? Like, which revamp do you prefer? And Ukraine won with 60%. Albania got 40%.
I do agree with that. I agree with that. That makes sense.
I think what it is Albania didn't change a lot with their revamp. They basically got rid of the guitar.
And added a music video.
Yeah, and added a music video. Ukraine is using the same music video, but they changed up the song a little more. And I think they made it a little more impactful. So I'm happy with this here.
Yeah, I'm giving the edge to Ukraine between these two.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's talk about our national finals that came to a conclusion.
Oh my goodness, it's over. How is it over?
Oh my god, let's talk about.
Are we gonna have Saturdays like where we're not like all up in arms and anxious about like a result happening across the world?
What are we gonna do with our Saturdays from now on?
I know. Ugh, crazy.
But Melody Festival came to a close.
Yes.
And Lorraine is going back to Eurovision.
With tattoo.
As a tattoo. So thoughts, feelings.
Okay. So now it becomes a question. What are the odds that she's not going to win? That I've seen that discussion a lot, and I don't see any stop to that discussion. It does look like she quickly became the favorite to win. I do see why. The Melfest performance was it was great. She has I feel like everywhere she goes, amazing staging follows her, and that's because she's a visionary. She's a visionary in almost every aspect, and I respect that. I don't care what result she really gets. We have this performance, and it is already one of the most iconic things that the Eurovision stage will ever get. Like, I'm just not going to pay a ton of attention to her result.
Here's the thing. I see a way she could win. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying it's my favorite song. Because it's not my favorite song competing this year.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, this kind of lands the same place as Cornelia did for me last year in my top 10, which is I think it deserves top 10, but it's just not my personal favorite. Like I put this like 5th or 6th too. And I think that if it did win, it would be a deserved win.
Yeah.
But like I'm seeing people who are kind of angry that people say, "Oh, this is gonna win." You know what I mean? Like I'm seeing a lot of that. We haven't really talked much about the song, but it's kind of like at this point, like the impact. I think needs to be discussed to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Which like people are like, oh, I'm seeing people angry that people think this is gonna win, and it's like,
There are some years where like the winners are more clear, or like we have an allotment of songs that are going to win that are clearer than others. But I mean, you could still go into it and just enjoy the show for what it is, you know?
Yeah, like I think like a lot of people have this reaction of, oh, this is winning as soon as Arcade came out. I still don't understand what happened with Arcade, but that's
I
also
don't
because it doesn't
personally
appeal to
either.
me. It's
Yeah,
not my.
me
It's not going to be my taste.
not me personally either, but who knows?
But
Because
I
we didn't
can.
know. I didn't know that it was going
Yeah,
to be winning.
I don't know.
It
Like for
came out
me, I
on the
feel like
same day
this.
as Better Love, and I felt like Better Love was a more competitive song than Arcade. Yes. Yes. I'm not I'm not retracting that statement. I did think Better Love was a more
I
competitive
think
song than
Better.
Arcade
Okay, I
Night.
have thoughts about Better Love. I love Better Love. Not gonna lie, Better Love is just so like feminine, especially that music video. Oh, gorgeous. It's such a feminine song and performance and presentation in both the music video and the staging as well. It makes me think of Utana, which that's a whole side story. Anything that makes me think of Utana. If you don't know what Utana is, don't worry about what Utana is, but anything that makes me think of Utana is good, in my opinion. Yeah, I think with as a song for me, if we look on paper, I should not enjoy Tattoo as much as I do.
Yeah.
It's still Melody Festival and stock songwriters and stock production and stock lyricism. The difference is Lorraine as a performer, she is so good at connecting. She is so good at making you like at projecting emotions. Like you could give her the phone book to sing, and I'm gonna be intrigued because she's just that as a performer. She has that
It's a je ne sais quoi. Like
yeah, there's like
you're born with the quality that she has.
Yes, and if you're not, it takes a lot to learn how to do it.
Yeah,
and she's a master of that craft. It's like she's very intriguing. Like I'm not a big fan of Euphoria. But I definitely do prefer Tattoo over Euphoria because I think she's just gotten better at honing in that craft.
Yeah, I do agree. I really enjoy this song. It's at the current moment, it's my second place, but I do also have a little bit of a worry because I did see some press elaborate on the fact that the staging might not work in Liverpool because of just how heavy that big chunk of LED is. So they might have to rework that. But the point is, Lorraine is a visionary. She can connect with the audience well. I'm not worried about how that's going to turn out, really.
Lorendi says, "What a potential pop perfection. I prefer other entries more original, but she elevated the song and her performance is fire. Older fans will remember and vote for her, and vote for her. Some of them. I agree. It is pop perfection." And like you said, it's not, there are other songs that are more original. But again, she elevates it. She brings it. And I think that's the thing, is that it's the fact that it's like, if this song was being sung by like anyone else, I wouldn't have as much of a attachment to it because I can't really think of many other performers who could take this material and elevate it in the way that she does.
It's an inborn quality of being able to project the song, and she seems born with it, with just how natural she is at it. She, like you were saying, she can make the phone book sound like the most amazing thing you've ever heard, just because that's her quality as a performer.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. And like I'm just looking at other comments. Vlad Simpleton says, I mean, this can also be a bad thing. This is in reference to how polished it is. I think it's just too professional, and and this impresses everybody, including me, even though I didn't even have her in my top 10. Okay.
That's an interesting perspective.
It's like you don't even have her in your top 10, and you're like, she impresses me, which is good. I mean, that's the thing, is like that's our biggest issue I think I have with Sweden typically, is like just everything is so polished and so perfect. But yeah, like that's kind of how
it typically doesn't leave a lot of room for originality, but at least we get definitely some flex of originality with Lorraine. Definitely more than just a normal Malfest song.
Yeah.
You do see at least a good chunk of distinction.
And the MTSH96 says, we're gonna have we're gonna have 3 Nordic countries in the top 5 this year. I'm
Probably.
gonna guess that's Sweden, Finland, and Norway.
Maybe even in that order.
Here's a comment from Carmen. If the jury does not help Finland or any other upbeat songs, she will probably win it. In my head, when I look at it, I see like I see Finland just crushing that televote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what was it? I saw someone make the contention that like Garia is going to have like probably the biggest televote poll, and probably the biggest jury poll is going to be moving in the direction of Blanca and Spain, just because of like the clear vocal ability.
Oh,
and
Blanca
the winner
Paloma.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. We have to walk. I was like, what are you talking about? You said Blanca first.
Not Blanca. Blanca with a C.
Sorry. I do that. I apologize.
Love you,
Blanca. I have to say Blanca Paloma. I'm sorry, just to keep it straight in my head.
It's a good thing we specified, because I don't want to confuse our viewers as well.
Yeah, no, I do think that.
I don't. No, sorry, I interrupted. What were you saying?
I was like, what you were saying. I don't know, because like the juries typically don't go for that kind of like. I'm gonna use the word ethnic. I'll use the word ethnic. Juries don't really go for that ethnic vocal sound, though. Do they?
I think distinction is going to be what helps, though. I think just from how unique overall this song is, it's going to have maybe not enough 12s, but like everyone's 5s, you know? How like a country can do well just by getting a mid-table result from everybody, and as a result, maybe even get a top 10 because of it. People ignore those songs that they tend to do well because they just got a lot of low points. I don't see that necessarily happening with this song, but there's a path. There definitely is a path.
Yeah,
the winner, though, I can't see a winner. I can't see a winner immediately like everyone else can.
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking like, I feel like the jury is like a good vocal, but they're like a good vocal kind of in that pop style more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that does sound like it could happen. Very likely. That's just tendency.
Again, but I mean, Spain, I could still see a pathway for Spanish victory. I don't know. I'm kind of on this point right now where like I'm not calling anything totally, but I could see a pathway. Like there's a mix of, I think, I was gonna say like last week I had a mix of about 10 countries I could see winning. At this point, I'm down to 5. I can see winning.
I was about to say like 5 countries I feel like have the greatest potential to win at the current state we're at.
I need to see what Georgia's doing.
Yeah. Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. Come on, guys. Come on, step up.
I don't think Azerbaijan's doing anything to win, but I can see Georgia doing something that's got that winner potential.
Well, I mean, both Brunette and Iru have their junior Eurovision teams at the table now. So, like, I think it could turn out very, very well because I don't know, they're finally talking. Those 2 sides of the delegation.
Armenia is hungry. They want that. You know what I mean? They want that win. Yeah. So we'll see.
We shall see.
Right. Let's go ahead and let's talk about Festival da Canção now.
Ooh, oh my goodness. This was probably my favorite national final show of the season. I think I might be able to say that.
Not a single crumb left. Just
from the beginning. The second you turned on the stream, it was just entertainment. The whole time.
It was so good.
Filomena got captured.
I love her. Again, Portugal, if you ever host again and you get Filomena, she needs to be your main primary host. Do not waste your Filomena.
No.
You guys did it last time. Don't waste her. But yeah, what I was going to say is...
She's literally the Petramida of Southern Europe, but yeah.
She's... How do I phrase this? I love her. But Mimi Cat won. And she went with the song Ai Coração. And let's start by talking about Mimi Cat, and then we can talk about like kind of the show, because I think we both had some things we wanted to say about the show in general.
Mm-hmm. Golden voice, amazing
Mhm.
performer. She's one of those people who can dance and sing at the same time, make it look effortless. I love how the song does not stay one-dimensional. I mean, sometimes I feel like with a cabaret-y type entry that can happen sometimes. That
Mhm.
didn't happen here. I feel like she's going to get a very good result. I feel like she is going to qualify.
Mhm.
It's full package to me. Yeah, it is cheese, but it's done in a way that feels expensive and it feels like it's ready for a global audience.
You know what? I'm gonna say a name. Baz Luhrmann. Okay.
Really? Uh-huh.
He's, you know who he is. Like, for
Yeah.
people who don't know who he is, he's an Australian director. He's directed movies like, what's the name of that movie? Moulin Rouge, Romeo plus Juliet, The Great Gatsby, that Elvis movie that just came out like last year. Yeah, no, it's very Baz Luhrmann-esque, but not irritating because I don't like a lot of his stuff. He kind of does too much. It's like something I could see him directing for like a cover of a song with, but like being able to pull it back to the point where it's still good and it doesn't go over the top to be too much, if that makes sense.
I kind of get an essence of like Annie Lorak type performance, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
In terms of just like, because there's also like a very big dramatic note at the end that I kind of like, that has like a little bit of an Annie Lorak flavor. And we have to remember that is one of the, I'm stuttering bad today, is one of the most memorable entries that I kind of remember. And that's because of just the general performer ability of it. It's not like she's sitting in one place. She's literally dancing the whole time. And that song is challenging. Like that song is hard.
The fact that she's hitting that last note so well after like moving around for the last 3 minutes, I'm like, girl, like
there's no way that a normal person can do
lung
that.
capacity. And like it's the first time they've had a winner who isn't one of the invited artists, which I think is fantastic to finally have somebody. Because like the way Festival de Canção works is the majority of the artists or the broadcaster chooses them and kind of invites them on. And then they have like 5 slots for people who submit their own stuff. And she's one of the submitted artists rather than an
invited guest.
Invited artist. Yes, sorry. My hands are dry.
But I mean, it like we were saying earlier, this was a very excellent show. I personally think that this could be a model for all the national selections.
Yes.
It could be the model. It was just so entertaining through and through, and just based on that philosophy alone. But what are some thoughts that you had just kind of on the show?
I feel like the thing I want to bring, there's a couple of things. Number one, when Mauro came out with all the contestants from last year's Festival de Canção, and they sang Saudade together, I was crying like a baby. Oh my gosh.
I was like, that's literally them. Those are the twerking 30-year-olds. That's ginger ale. Like, that's everybody.
Like, it was so good. And like, it was just so nice to have it and like be able to see everyone come together from last year. Because usually you only see the winner from the national final come and do a reprise performance. So like having everybody there just felt right too. Because that's kind of like the energy Festival de Canção has.
Yeah, class reunion, you know?
Exactly. And like Mauro is just like, she's got a warmth to her and the song has a warmth to it. And like Portugal just does that sound so well. It's like, it always makes you feel like you're watching a sunset on the beach. And like, oh my gosh, love it.
Italy envies this.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I liked it better than Sanremo. It went on forever too.
No, I think I did too. It also went forever, but like this time I gotta give the edge. Gotta give the edge to Portugal.
And it wasn't distracting because like, I'm sorry, I don't like the interval acts in the middle of songs at Sanremo.
It's too much for your attention span, you know?
Yeah.
It's like if I'm paying attention to the songs and the entries, then I don't want to be thrown off really by something that's not going to be an ultimate variable at the end. We don't get that in Portugal. All the intervals were for the beginning and for the end of the songs.
Yeah. And like, yeah, like, and then another interval act I want to bring up real quick, which is Salvador.
Mr. Sobral.
Oh my gosh. We know it. We're going to Liverpool. Every national final has to have some kind of
Beatles
Beatles cover
medley.
medley. That was the best one by far. And it was like, it was probably because it was like unexpected Beatles songs. And it wasn't just like a straight up cover. Like you're just singing over like the instrumental track. It was like, nah, I'm going to give this my own spin and my own working. And we had that. It was fantastic. Like, honestly, we know there's going to be a Beatles tribute happening in Liverpool.
The whole time. It's going to be literally Beatles everywhere we look.
We know it's going to happen. BBC, go call Salvador to come out and help y'all out. Because you're going to need it.
Like, just the way he was able to engage with the audience and make it feel like it was his own work in a way, that is another, like, performer quality that I kind of just feel like that can't be easily duplicated, and I'm glad he chose the catalog of songs that he did, because we do get average Beatles songs in medleys. Like, let's take a look at Pesma za Eurovision in Serbia, how we got like a 45-minute Beatles medley of all their like hits, but it just didn't feel original. It didn't feel like there was quite personality to that. Salvador, that was decidedly not the case. He picked songs that suited him, that he could cover very nicely, very well, and it just felt polished, it felt clean, it felt professional. And that's all I really could have wanted from that. Because we're gonna get countless Beatles medleys the whole time this year.
Oh my gosh, so many.
Will forever be special in the litany of all the covers that we're gonna be getting.
Yeah, no, agreed. I do agree with that statement. I feel like it was just a lot of yeah, no, it was
had
good.
Like, All You Need Is Love for like 10 minutes straight at one point, and that was just like, no, come on.
I mean, like, even the most obvious one was like Here Comes the Sun, but like it was twisted up, done in like Portuguese. I think I heard a little Italian in there, some English, some Spanish. It was good. It was, yeah, sorry.
I love the fact that he can't just like go up there and rehearse something as is. He gets bored. I love the fact that he gets bored with just plain rehearsal, and he has to have fun. He has to improvise up there. That is so jazz of him. But you know what? That makes a winner. It makes a winner. Like you could tell that he had the capacity to be a winner just because of how much he loves to improvise. That is the essence of art.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that, I'm like, maybe jazz is the perfect genre for people with ADHD. Maybe. I'm having a thought process here.
Interesting insight.
Because I used to be in jazz bands. Yep, that checks out for me. That checks out for me because we used to have jam sessions. Like the way our structure was, it was we used to just have jam sessions. So you'd have your song that your song you're actually doing at the concert, which is a cover, like a jazz standard cover. But then we would sit there, we'd have like improvisations and jam sessions. So like it would just basically be like, okay, you come in on your instrument when you're ready to and do what you want to do. And like it kind of helps you get in tune as a group. Sorry, I'm having thoughts about jazz bands again.
No, that's fine. I mean, like he probably grew up in that environment, so
I mean, I don't know, honestly. Just yeah. We're off on that tangent.
Yeah.
But yeah, like to wrap it up, I love Ai Coração. I think Portugal is going to do really well with this. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Let me see here.
I mean, when it came to the results of the show, I like Edmundo doing so well. That was surprising, and I'm also kind of sad that we don't get to see him, but I'm sad that we don't get to see most of them.
Yeah. Honestly, because the thing is with Festival da Canção, all but one of those songs I would have been happy to have at Eurovision, and all but one of those songs would have been in my top. Would be in my top 10. Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's see here. Judges Papadopoulos says Portugal is top 5 contender in my opinion. I can see that.
There is a path. There is a path.
It has a good energy to it. It has the vocal, and it's a vocal that's like kind of like pop vocal. So I can see the jury going for that. Honestly, I think Portugal, like I saw someone else say, I was trying to find the comment. Here it is. Chef Rose says Portugal's winning in the next 10 years.
I hope so. I'll go back to Lisbon. I mean, I've never been to Lisbon, but I'll go.
Maybe even in the next 5 years. They've been serving so much quality.
Okay, now
if it were up to me.
I do have one concern now that I think about it, though. Regarding Ai Coração, The thing is with Portuguese staging at Eurovision, it tends to be very simple. It tends to leave the wonder for the song itself. They got to go big and extra for this entry. So my question is, what is the vision that they have for Mimicat? Because I don't associate Portugal with big dramatic staging. You know, it's always the simplicity of the staging that helps you focus on the song itself. We're not going to get that. This is a big, cheesy, eventful entry. It's kind of a 180 from what I would expect from them staging wise, but I think they're going to pull it off. I think they're going to do it.
But when has Portugal sent a song that needed big staging?
I don't.
Because I'm thinking every song they have, I feel like was staged perfectly for the song.
Yeah, but but generally it's simple. Like it's not crazy. Like with LEDs or with you're not focusing on the visual aspect of it as much as other songs, and that is something that I associate with Portuguese entries.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying is like now I'm trying to think of like I can't think of Portugal ever sending a song that needed something that have big staging like they're doing this year.
Luta Alegria, that needed the staging it did, but that was pretty much it.
That song, that was one of those things. It's like now that after someone explained it to me, I appreciate it more than I did. Because that needed an explainer.
But yeah, as of the last like 15 years, Portugal doesn't need to go super crazy with staging.
Jeffro says
this year.
Jeffro says que será se tua needed big staging low key. Yeah, they could have gone with something more.
I mean,
maybe
the
that
drums
would
were a
have
nice touch. Drums were a really nice touch, but yeah, they needed more.
I'm just trying to think, how do you stage this? I would try to stage it. I would put this on the catwalk personally.
You'd put it on the catwalk?
The whole performance on the catwalk.
I say bring out chairs. I say go full cabaret, full Sally Bowles. Yeah. Bring out chairs.
No, I'm saying we're doing cabaret we're going cabaret burlesque style here.
Just on the catwalk.
On the catwalk is where I'm putting the performance at. That way you can create more intimacy to make it look like you're in a smaller club.
Yeah, you can literally make it feel like you're at one of the cabaret clubs if you use it.
Yeah, like you're at a cabaret club.
Mimicat, I don't know if you're listening to us. You probably aren't, but here's an idea for the stage, just in case you've come up with zero things.
That's all I can think of.
We have one idea.
Because it's a song that needs a smaller, like it needs to make the stage look smaller than the stage is.
Yeah, because that's cabaret, you know.
Yeah, and that's gonna. And like, so if I'm not saying I'm clever, but if someone more clever than me could come up with a way to make it like more intimate, it could really work. So like, because that way you can go kind of big and crazy, but you don't need as big of a budget to go big and crazy.
I think like a trapeze would be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Coming down from behind the arena and the camera just looks back up there and Mimicat is just on a big trapeze coming down to the stage.
I think that health and safety is not going to approve that.
Conchita did it. That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, yeah, but that's an opening act. So they have more time to kind of make sure everything's safe.
It's just an idea. Mimicat, if you're listening to our stream at all, we're just throwing a couple ideas at you.
Yeah, trapeze is a lot. So Carmen says, can I mention Claudia? I really liked her performance. Yes. Fantastic. Great
Claudia,
opener.
if she comes back, she's going to end up winning again. Like, she's so good. And that dance break, that is one of my favorite dance breaks literally of all time. I love how she's like skipping kind of like a topscotch and then you hear like dogs barking.
Yeah.
Art. She's literally just artist. And
multitasking queen, getting your laundry done at the same time. Yes.
Oh my goodness. And the choreography was iconic as hell. Like, excellent job. She got the deserved place, I think. She ended up with. She got third. And that just felt right. Okay,
so we're kind of done talking about Festival de Canção. So we have a question here from Lorendi, which is Iceland for me to upload. Iceland is best for me to uplift my morale. What is a current season song that uplifts for you?
Iceland's a good one. That's a good one.
I'm trying to think what's an uplifting one for me.
For me, Australia.
Okay.
Promise. That is. I might be the only one who legitimately cares about this song as much as I do. I think it's a gem. I think that song is so great, so uplifting, so positive, but also not overwhelmingly sweet.
Yeah.
It feels just so balanced to me, and that is my uplifting song, Rindy.
I would say maybe Heart of Steel for me from Ukraine. Because it has that positive vibe, that positive message, but it also doesn't have it in a way that goes cheesy.
Mm-hmm. It's deep.
It's not deep. It's like an uplifting message in a way I would portray an uplifting message personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like if a friend of mine was like, oh, I'm really sad or whatever. I'm like, well, brush off the haters. Don't care what they say. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like that. Because that's kind of more my sense of humor. And I kind of use humor a lot to help people around me feel better and help myself feel better.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, well, I'm not saying that like it's a humorous song. But I'm saying like it kind of has phrases that I would use in a more humorous way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I also would agree that Heart of Steel, it does have that quality to it where if I'm looking to be uplifted, then that could be a song that I source because it has encouragement, a lot of encouragement like locked inside of it.
And then Georgios Papadopoulos says my biggest uplifter for Giorgio is the UK.
Instead, I wrote a song. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Carmen says Joker out, but I'm biased. You know what?
We haven't seen enough love for Joker out, honestly. Come on, give some love to the boys.
They're my personal favorites this year. I'm currently in year 2 of my Slovenian stan era. And I'm
it should have started at Amen, but we got what we got.
Yeah, no. It started with disco for me. I love disco.
For me, it started with Amen.
Okay.
That was my 3rd place. I know.
No, Joker out's my winner. Jeff Rose says Lithuania Low Key is the most uplifting song for me this year.
Oh yeah.
I remember crying the first saw the final performance. I didn't watch Lithuania's national finals this year. Okay. Some love for Monica.
Yeah.
We love them. We love a Lithuanian Monica.
Mm-hmm. We got like 5 this year.
It's a common name, I guess. So yeah, like that's it. Oh, and we had another poll.
Oh yeah.
Which was Portugal and Sweden. Which do you prefer? I guess
just take a wild guess, everyone.
Take a wild guess. It was closer than I thought it was going to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the numbers?
Sweden took it with 69%.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that is closer than I thought it would be.
It's like a 30-70 split. Portugal 31st. Portugal is your national final. I think what it is Festival de Canção is your national final for cool kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like people who like for like, not when I say cool kids, like hipsters. Mm-hmm. And like Melody Festival is your national final for like hoppies.
Athletes.
Jocks. Yeah, again, we need to break down these like national finals, like who sits at what table in the cafeteria. But yeah, it's kind of what it is. Next week we're gonna have hopefully all the songs.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. We're supposed to get the Armenian song, I believe, on Wednesday. Still no dates for Georgia and Azerbaijan.
Hopefully it'll drop this week. Hopefully. And then we're gonna start off our kind of in-depth reviews. Mm-hmm. So I'll let you guys. If you follow us, you'll get a poll this week. I promise. Kind of asking you guys what your favorite of our songs we'll be talking about next week are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you a hint. The first song we're going to talk about next week is Italy.
Because tradition.
Yes.
We like it's Eurovision tradition. Whenever you address stuff, you start with the host country or you end with the host country, just because they were the last ones to hold the responsibility.
Yes. So it's like our way of saying, here's the torch. So we're going to talk about Italy for sure.
Grazie. Yeah.
And then you'll see the theme forming. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. We have like less than 60 days, like 58, 59 days until the show.
It's getting real, y'all.
It's so real.
Don't forget to subscribe to us. We're going to be here for the rest of the season talking about stuff. Like the video, leave some comments, follow us. Yes, EurovisionFam.com. Mm-hmm. And we're Eurovision Fam on like all the social media places like Twitter and things like that.
Mm-hmm. And vote in the polls. Vote.
Yeah, of course. Please vote. So yeah, thank you guys so much. And we will see you guys again next week. Bye-bye.